I mean, we were happy that we shown signs of life. I just had a brief chat with everyone. People seem fine. Yeah, we were okay. We knew like we were underdogs, and we don't. Yeah, almost winning doesn't do much.
Today was the last day of the Worlds 2024 quarterfinals, and in this interview sponsored by Oli, I am in the presence of Nukeduck, the head coach of FlyQuest, after unfortunately the entry run. Today it was a 5-game series right against Gen.G, and it was very, very close. Much closer than a lot of people expected, right? I mean, first of all, just do you think that like Gen.G pulled off what you expected from them today? Did they pull any surprises as well? Like, how do you see the match overall?
No, it was pretty much as expected. Our fare going into it was what they ended up playing the last 2 games. Like when they play like scaling team comps that kind of need to get broken in laning phase. Those were the team comps I thought we would have the hardest time against, and that's what they did like in the 2 last games basically. But everything seemed as expected, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, from the tone of your voice and just everything I've seen from people around the room so far, it seems that you guys still are. You don't seem like too mentally distraught, I guess, after the loss. Like, despite obviously being eliminated from Worlds, it seems like a lot of people didn't count FlyQuest in right for Worlds, and they thought that you guys would just get stomped against Gen.G. How would you say is the team morale right now? Like, do you feel like still this is like kind of a big accomplishment that you were able to push them this far?
I mean, we were happy that we shown signs of life. I just had a brief chat with everyone. People seem fine. Yeah, we were okay. We knew like we were underdogs, and we don't. Yeah, almost winning doesn't do much, but we definitely like had some play. So I hope like at least it was like a fun series to watch, and yeah.
Do you have like a specific regret, I guess, about this series, or do you think that you just like did everything you could, and are you still like proud of what you achieved today?
Well, in retrospect, when you lose, it's definitely going to be like some like draft considerations you could have thought about. Maybe the last game, Maokai 6 was a bit too annoying to deal with. Also, we didn't know exactly how, we didn't find the winning like strategy against it. And I didn't have that ready, and we were not used to playing against like Maokai support. And basically they have really strong like laners, carries, so when they play champions like Nidalee and Maokai, and they just like give vision everywhere and just make like basically they force the game to be somewhat slow, and that was maybe a problem in the last game, yeah, when they had 6 and Maokai. I thought that we would be stronger than them and we could take the objectives into that game, but they were able to kind of, because we were too worried about Sigs trying to take our towers. So I think it was like a mix of things. We didn't find the winning line, but also we could have just banned Sigs, and then I don't think they could have played Maokai with something else. So that's a regret. And then we could have preemptively thought about Nidalee with the AD mid. But we kind of had to see it. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, do you think that like there's something else you could have done, especially into that Nidalee, because it seemed like it's one of the major picks that actually turned this series around, right, as well?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm not sure. The first game lost against it. I mean, I was kind of an unlucky game, or like we fucked up early game real bad, and they had like Kassadin Nidalee, and we gave 2 kills to Kassadin trying to dive him. So that game, it wasn't clear to me that like Nidalee was like the big problem, or something like that. We kind of just like forgot about it. I went to blue side, but when I saw their Nidalee Tristana, then I could easily tell that like this is not something like we're gonna like have a good time against if we play against it again. And then, but they found like a similar team come to last game, so yeah.
And I mean, moving on to like a more positive topic as well. Obviously, like people, especially in the last few years, have been very down on the West, right? Because the results have not been there for quite some time. But this year, it feels like you guys, especially, brought your own style to Worlds, right? You revolutionized a lot of stuff, it feels. Do you feel like this run could be the start of something great for the West? And do you think it could be the resurgence of the West? Because I hear like Whippo and Inspired always talk about the fact that they want to bring that formula back to win against the Eastern team again. And do you think that you guys actually have that like special, something that will make it so that maybe in 2025, 2026, or any year beyond that, you'll be able to actually beat them?
Yeah, I think we have some things that are better for us. Of course, like we have like some major disadvantages, like our solo queue is worse and our scrim opponents all year are worse. So like our completely standard game, we are like worse than them. So that's like our downfall against the Eastern teams. But we have like creative players, and also as a staff we also work very hard trying to find like ways to like do something that like trips them up or something like that. So we have very, let's say, open-minded group. So I think that helps a lot for that.
Yeah. And do you think that other Western teams should start to like take example on like the run of FlyQuest this year? Do you think that this is the way for the West to actually be able to contend in the next few years as well?
Yeah, I think a little bit at least. I think like a lot of pro players get stuck in like just like watching what Eastern teams play and then just playing it and not like looking into the game, like why is it good, or like figuring out for themselves like why something would work or why it wouldn't work. Because their drafting isn't perfect at all. I think like or like they have their own strategies, by the way. So or like Gen.G for me is the best like drafting team from LCK maybe, or like the draft that I resonate the most with. But like blindly copying them is like definitely not like something you're not gonna win doing that, and you're also maybe you're not like improving that much as well, I guess, doing that. So yeah.
And for FlyQuest this year, it's been a story of growth, because obviously the year you had in Spring Split you had some decent results, right? And you got second place, I believe, and then you went to MSI, and then you actually won the LCS in summer. And now you're here at Worlds, the last remaining Western team. You pushed Gen.G to Game 5, and it feels like this is a completely different team from what it was at the start of the year. So what do you think is the major thing that you guys actually had like growth in like over the year, and like what is these like specific aspect that you think is the edge factor that led you to this position?
So I do think like we added, you know, like Miffy and Quad to the squad. I think both helped a lot. I mean, as you could see, if you watched NA, I don't know how many watched, but like Quad was very integral to us to win the final, and he's like a very good carry player. So it gave us like an extra like layer of depth to have him. And Mythic coming in, he's like extremely expert about like support and bottom, and our bottom lane they were a bit like they weren't. I mean, he just helped them a lot because they're like new players. They're very smart and good mechanically. They just like, I guess, lacked some information perhaps that I didn't have, and specifically worked on. We also like knew, like after playing together longer, we also more realize what we're good at, and like we just built our identity up more, and people also got more bought into it because they saw like that's what works and that's what doesn't work. So we're like more of a team right now because of that.
Yeah, and something that is very commendable as well is the growth of Masu and Busio, right? Because both of them, they're coming from the academy circuit. I mean, obviously Busio still had a year in LCS last year already, but for Masu in particular, right, he's coming from Challenger. He wins the LCS in his first years, and he takes Gen.G to 5 games as well. So, like, do you feel like this experience is going to be like pivotal for both of them to be able to bloom even more next year, and like be able to show up like as a completely like even greater bot lane, I guess, as well, because they already do so great, right? They pushed so Pace and Lehen so much today, right?
Yeah, I think they're good. So in the case of Masu, he's like a very like mechanically talented player, and he also has a like very like good mindset for improving, and he has a very like he like challenges himself on everything. Like he want to play perfect, so he's gonna be like good for sure. And Busio, same, extremely good mindset and also talented. So in NA. There are not that many bottom lanes that are like that good. It's mostly like Team Liquid that pushes them. So we'll have to see how it goes during the year. I mean, because the thing is, when you play against different competition, it's harder to like just keep improving. But they're both like pretty good at doing that. So, but yeah, they have bright futures for sure. So yeah.
Yeah. And next up, I just want to ask, obviously, because you also had a long career, right? In the LEC, you were a mid laner. You were one of the top tier mid laner for quite some time. And I mean, we always talked about the year of the duck back then and stuff. And now you're here at Worlds in quarterfinals. The run ends here, unfortunately. But how does it feel for you to actually be there and be able to push Gen.G in a completely different role? Because obviously you had to transition as a head coach now, right? So how was it for you, like being in this different position as well?
Yeah, so I started coaching like in 2023 but as an assistant coach on 100 teams, and this is my first year as head coach. How is it? It's been fun. It's like I feel like I'm more settled into coaching now than the first year, and like it feels really good to watch the guys like beat like or take games of Gen.G, you know, and it also feels very rewarding for us as a staff when things are going like well in the games and things that we worked on work or like drafts that we prepped work. It's very fulfilling. So yeah.
Yeah, and we do have to close off. Unfortunately, we don't have any more time. But do you have any last message for the fans, just to give them hope as well for next year?
Just if you guys want to see more league like that, you should like watch NALC or the Americas League, you know, where FlyQuest will be participating. So we're gonna try to like do even better next year. So yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much in any case for talking with us today. Unfortunately, it's a loss, but it's only a new beginning because it's been such a run this year, and hopefully next year will be even better for you guys. I wish you the best of luck in the new league next year, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again soon in some better circumstances. But thank you so much again for talking with us today, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much for watching our content today in our interview with Nukeduck. It's been a long journey, and unfortunately it ends here for FlyQuest. But again, we want to say thank you to Oli for sponsoring us throughout our run at Worlds as well. And make sure to take care of checking out their products on their website and use the code SE5 at checkout for €5 discount on any purchase. Again, they are really coming clutch and helping us produce all this great content, so please make sure to take a look at delicious and energetic fruit juices. And yeah, for now that'll be it for us, so see you soon and have a good year.